Hello, welcome, and my name is Shahzad. And in this video, we will learn about the exception handling in Python in the series of necessary Python for artificial intelligence. So let's get to it. So exception handling uh, in Python allows you to handle errors or unexpected events gracefully. Instead of your program crashing when an error occurs, you can catch exceptions and handle them in a way that prevents your program to break or fall apart. So the reason to use exception handling are to make your code robust and prevent crashes, to provide meaningful error message to users, and to handle unexpected events with gracefully. And here is the basic syntax of exception handling in Python. The try blocks where you write the code here that might throw an exception. An exception block, this except, here you type in the block of code that handle exception if it occurs. So let's start with an example. Let's say you want to divide two numbers, and let's say you have a variable. You want to take input from user, and for that you ask user to enter a number, enter a number, and next what you can do is that store a result into a variable, and you divide any number that is given by the user with 10, and here is the num. Okay, so this is the code, and you want to print it, the result. So let's run this. So let's say we want user entered 5, so answer is 2. Let's say run it again and use user entered like 3, and the answer will be 3.33 fraction float number. And what if user enter 0 here? So it will throw a division error, zero division error. So in the world of math, dividing any number with 0 is like a crime, or you can say it's a sin. So that's why it's throwing error here. So in this way, anyone who mistakenly or intentionally provide us the wrong input like this could crash our application or our program or whatever we are building. So to prevent this situation, what we can do is that we can use exceptions to handle it gracefully. So here we have, I just copied it from the above, and here we might have the error that we want to capture. So next what we can do, we type in an except, and we can also give a exception type here, but we will talk about that later. So next, whatever the error is, to handle it, what we can do, we can like print here like divi division. We are not allowed. Okay, this will be the message shown when any user inputs 0. So let's say if we hit 0, what it do? Okay, what's wrong here? Print. Okay, should be this. So 0, and here we go. In this scenario, when the user were entering 0, we were getting error. Now it is being taken care by the try except this structure of exception handling. So this is one thing how you handle the errors. Let's say if we have a user and if he's typing in 0, we are not getting error, and we are saying that division by 0 is not allowed. What if he enters like y? What will it do? Okay, let's hold on and just hold on. So it will again executing the same thing, but this time we are not this is not the right error that was raised, but this was a generally this structure was try and accept was generally handling it with the same code of line, but this was a different error because we provided a different situation. 0 situation different error raises a different error, and the y situation raises a different error. So to handle this, we can use 0 division error here. So this what it does will explicitly identify the 0 error division error. Okay, and if we type in O, so it will now throw an error because this is not a 0 division error. So it is a different error, that is value error. So what we can do here is that we can enter another except situation with the value error. Okay, 0. Okay, value error, and what we can say is that please enter integer, or we can say valid number, right? And let's try it. We are typing in E and it's moving to enter a valid number. When we type in 0, it is handling division by 0 is not allowed. So this is again another way of handling the error using different exception types. So where these exception types come from, there are built-in exception types well known, and if you want to find this exception type, you can type in like type Python built-in error classes, and you can go to Google and type search it, and you will find a document relating to it, and where you can find all the exception classes. Here you can have indexer, key error, and you can explore. There are so many classes you can use here. So this is one of the way you can handle these errors. So I hope you got it. And next, what we also have now, what is happening here, that another thing to be noted as when you use this try and accept error handling, what it does, it helps us to, it will not allow to crash the application. So any code that is after this block of code, try and accept error code, keeps running. So like we can say that no matter what happens, because that is being handled by the try and accept exception handling blocks, so it will continue further executing the code. So what I can write here is, okay, the show must go on. So here you go. I do it like this. So the show, it's saying that the show must go on. So it is also printing here the result, and as you can see that it's also allowing the execution of the program as normal. So there is one more thing, that is else. So else statements is run when there is no exceptions here. Though we have printed it here, but it's a good practice to put the block of code that has to be executed when we do not find any errors in our exception blocks. So what will happen here, that it will take an input, and if there is any error, it will go to the relevant exception. If it's a zero division error, it will go here and print this. It will, if it's a value error, it will execute this line, and if there is no error, only then it will execute this else line. So let's try this. We have to provide a column here, so it's 8, and we got our number, and here it is, and this is, and what we can do next is that we also have a final block, finally block here. And what happens in this block, that this message will always be printed regardless of an error. Whether there is an error here and handled by this exception, this block of code will always run. And there is a good reason for it. For example, in a scenario when you are interacting with a database and you are opening a database and you try to fetch something, and here in this block you get some errors, and those errors are handled by your exceptions, but you also want to close the connection with the database as well. Once you are done, whether there is any error or there is no error here, you're getting it. So in that case, you put that kind of code closing those connections or any references, and you can put those code of block here, but you will say that anyway the program is not crashing and print is also printing here, so why use finally? So when you put this code in a function, in that situation this become very important, because out of in the function you only have the code that is relevant to that particular task, and in that situation you don't put anything outside that function that is not part of that function. So you want to keep everything neat and clean, and so that finally exception handling block is at that moment is important. So this was it regarding the try and exception block with else and finally. And other than that, you can also uh, raise exceptions manually. For that, we'll try another example. Let's say there's a age variable and you want to input an integer, taking an input from user, enter age. And what you want is that, say that if age is less than 0, what happens? You raise an error. Raise VA these are the exception type you want to. You can choose any that suits your situation. Cannot be negative. So this is a manual error you want to raise manually, and so next what we can do is that else you can like print in your age is age. So let's try it. So it's giving some okay and invalid syntax. So what is wrong here? So I think it's the indent error here. We have to align the indent, and again it's giving the same error. So it is fine. Okay, I forgot to close this bracket. So again, it's was never closed, and I have to also close this one. Okay, now it's working. So let's the age like 5. It will say your age is 5. So what is happening here? We are taking the input as an age. It's check whether age is less than 0. If it's less than 0, then it will raise an error. So let's give it a try. Else it will print the your age that you provided. So let's say it's -1. So it will raise an error. This is a manually raised error. So this is another way to catch the error that you think logically you understand the situation and the project and the requirements of a particular situation in your logic, that you must raise an error manually. This for that purpose you use a raise error. to catch the error. So next what we have is that, can say that there is another type of exception error catching block that we can write, is that using assertions. So in assertions, you will use the same. Let's take it as a, and change the to number. Well is a number, and we are not enter a positive. Let's say enter a positive number, and we are asking this. So what we do here is that using assert, we can say that AWS assert and put a condition number greater than zero. So this will be the message. Number must be positive, and close it. And what will, after that we will do print your entered number. So here is the number, we print it. So now let's run it. If we enter any number like 3, so it will not raise any error. And if we enter any negative number, so it will raise an error. And number, it says the number must be positive, that we provided the error here. So these were the two ways. So in assertion, the assertion statement checks if the number is greater than 0. If not, it raises an assertion error with the custom message provided here. So what is the main difference between these two is that the raise error is used to explicitly raise an exception, while assert error raise an assert error if a condition is false. So here when the number is greater than 0, there will be no problem, and if it turns out to be false, so it will raise an error. So this was important thing about this error handling in Python, and I hope you like this video. Subscribe my channel if you find it useful, and thank you very much for watching.